Welcome to the Treasurer's Training Part 4, Reconciling the Bank Statement. This is Activity 8, and you must turn to page 15. Reconciled, to compare one financial account so that it is consistent or compatible with another. Reconciled my ledger against my bank statement. So each month you'll need to reconcile your bank statement to ensure you are keeping accurate records. Reconciling the bank statement allows you to keep track of all the checks that have been cashed and ensure that all deposits were credited to the club checking account. The bank statement more than likely will show a different balance than the Club Excel checkbook ledger balance. The reason for this discrepancy is because there may be checks that have been written, but the person receiving the check has not yet cashed it. Or you may have made a deposit in the account in which you added in the amount, but it has not yet been recorded on the bank statement. Exercise 1, Understanding the Bank Statement, can be found on page 16 of your workbook. On page 16, you will see a copy of the bank statement as shown on the screen. Now, not all bank statements look like this one, but they do have the same information. The top half is the summary of both the savings and checking account. It shows their ending balances and totals in both accounts. The middle is the summary of the checking account, showing the starting balance, all of the checks cashed, the deposits made, and the new ending balance. And the bottom half is a summary of the savings account. At this time, I would like you to answer the questions on the bottom of page 16 using the bank statement. What is the beginning checking account balance? What is the ending checking account balance? How many deposits are recorded on this bank statement? And what is the starting balance of the savings account? Please pause the video and take time to answer the questions. So here are the answers. What is the beginning checking account balance? It's $644.20. And what is the ending checking account balance? $646.40. How many deposits are recorded on this bank statement? There is one. And what is the starting balance in the savings account? It's $565.45. That's an important number for you because you will need that number when you are creating your treasurer report for your club meeting. Note in the upper right-hand corner, if your bank statements do not go from the first of the month to the last day of the month, you should ask the bank if they can change the date to the end of the month. It just makes record keeping much cleaner and easier for you. Exercise 2, Reconciling the Excel checkbook ledger to the bank statement. You will need to turn to page 17 in your workbook to find the September and October Excel checkbook ledgers as shown on the screen. To the left is the September ledger that was completed by the previous treasurer, and on the right is the October ledger that you just completed. You will need both of these ledgers, the one from the previous treasurer, because a few items may not have cleared the bank when the previous treasurer was still in office, so you will need their checkbook ledger to complete the process, and of course the October one that you just completed. In your Excel checkbook ledger, you will see the column to the far right with the red arrow that says Cleared from Bank. Cleared from Bank simply means that the check has been cashed and the bank has recorded the cash check on the bank statement, or the deposit has been received and the deposit has been recorded on the bank statement. At this time, I'd like you to take out worksheet number 2, the bank statement. In order to complete this activity, you must look at the business section portion of the bank statement where the red arrow is pointing. It's the middle section where it lists the checks that have been cashed, for example 102 and 103, and the deposits that have been made, which you can see is $53. We need to find these 3 entries in the September and October checkbook ledgers and mark them off with an X. The X will go in the Cleared from Bank column where the red arrow was pointing on the Excel checkbook ledgers. Let's do the first one together. So if you look at the bank statement, you will see the first check that cleared from the bank was on September 8th. It was for $27.53. So we will now go to the September Excel checkbook ledger, find this entry, and check it off. So to the left is the September Excel checkbook ledger. You will find the $27.53 check and put an X in the Cleared from Bank column. Now I want you to pause the video and continue to use the bank statement to check off the $53 deposit and check 103 for $23.27. and then resume the video to get the answers. So here's your answer. You can see that the check from Sue Smith for $19.01 still has not been cashed. This is really important information for you to know. If more than a month has passed and someone still has not cashed their check, it is best practice to call that person, in this case it would be Sue Smith, and find out if she still has the check or if she lost it. If she still has it, ask her to cash it. If she lost it, you will void check 102 and issue her a new check. Again, void would mean that you would write void in the detailed description area, put the $19.01 in the description area, delete the number out of the yellow column so the amount adds back in, rewrite a new check and enter that in the Excel checkbook ledger. In the description area, you would explain that the check is replacing check 102, which was lost, and then you would input the amount in the yellow column so it would subtract it again from the club account. If she still has the check, when she cashes it and it shows up on the bank statement, you will have to go back to the September Excel checkbook ledger and mark it as cleared. So at the end of the year, every check and every deposit must have an X on it. So the next time we reconcile, we are going to be looking for Sue Smith's check of $19.01, and on the October Excel checkbook ledger, we're going to be looking for a $42 deposit to be recorded on the bank statement. Exercise 3, completing the monthly reconciliation form. Please turn to page 18 and 19 in your workbook. On page 18, you will find the directions on how to fill out the monthly reconciliation form. And on page 19, you will actually find the form. Now that you know what checks have cleared the bank, it's time to fill in the monthly reconciliation form. This form can be found usually on the back of a bank statement, but we suggest that you use this electronic Excel version that was created for 4-H clubs. If using the Excel version, the computer will calculate all of the numbers for you. So I'm going to show you how this works by using the actual document, and all I want you to do is follow along. You can record the answers as I type them in, but it might be a little fast. So in the end, I will put the answer key up, and then I want you to fill in your worksheet to look exactly like my answer. For this activity, you would need a copy of the bank statement, which is worksheet number 2, and your Excel checkbook ledger. So the first thing I want you to do is look at the bank statement and put the date of the bank statement. And the statement says it's 10/17, and of course you would put the year. Now it says outstanding deposits. Record all deposits that are recorded in your checkbook ledger but are not on the bank statement. So this would be any deposit that we put in the checkbook ledger, but when we looked at the bank statement, it wasn't there. And we know that that one deposit that we had was on 10/15, and it was for $42. And when I tab, you'll notice that the $42 actually come down and they fill in the balance account box to the right. Now let's go down to outstanding checks. We are to record all checks that are recorded in the checkbook ledger but are not on the bank statement and have not cleared the bank. So this would be any checks that would be in October, in September, in August, any checks that we wrote out of our account. We have them recorded in our Excel checkbook ledger, but nowhere do they show up on the bank statement. And we know the only check that we have outstanding is check 102. It was to Sue Smith, and it was for $19.01. Then we tab. And what's great about this, again, is that it tabs down. Now we come up here to the upper right-hand corner. It says, what is the ending balance from your checkbook ledger? So if you would look at your Excel checkbook ledger, your ending balance on the checkbook ledger was $669.39. And I'll tab that over. Then it says subtract out total outstanding deposits, which is $42. Add in all checks from the bottom, which is $19.01. We had no bank fees. We didn't have any interest earned. And now we have our adjusted balance. And this should equal the bank statement ending balance of $646.40. Let's see if we did it correctly. Okay, so here's the answer key, and I want you to make sure that you pause the video and take time to fill in the form that you have in your workbook. But look where the red arrows are pointing. $646.40 is indeed our ending balance, and if you look at the bank statement on the right, you can see the checking account ending balance is $646.40. You might be asking yourself, where did the $669.39 come from? Well, if you would turn to page 17 in your book, you will see that's the ending balance in your Excel checkbook ledger on 10/17. This concludes the end of Treasurer Training Part 4. Now let's turn to Treasurer Training Part 5.